All right, guys, good morning. Today is Tuesday. We are going to be doing our comprehension strategy and skill, reading about genre vocabulary strategies, and then doing our writing practice. From there, you guys are going to work on your turn practice workbook. And then after we put in our fluency reading scores in Google Classroom, you guys are going to do your 5 things. After we have done those things, you guys are going to go to PE today. Then we have our math instruction at 10:15. We're going to be reviewing multiples of 9, and we're going to be playing another book it. So don't forget to come back because you guys have been having a lot of fun with those book its. From there, we got lunch. And then after lunch, I need my ELD students to return. And then I still have students with missing work. So if you have missing work, I know, Dimitri, you need to stay because you've got like 5 assignments you got to finish. And then there's a couple more of you guys that you guys need to get your work done. So please make sure you guys stay after school to get those completed. I know this isn't updated, but right now I've got Maylee, Dimitri, Kendall, Nicholas, Joels, Jason, Daniel, and Matthew. So if you see your name or if I called your name, you have missing work that you need to get completed. We got to get all this done so that we can move on to some more fun stuff for over the year, for the end of the year. Okay. Then don't forget to do an art, health, social, emotional learning activity, and then to read a book that you like for 20 minutes. You guys should be reading every single day. You guys are going to be going into 3rd grade, and in 3rd grade, you're expected to read chapter books in class. So you need to be able to read fluently. So if you are not reading 20 minutes every day, then you need to start doing that today, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and I'm going to open up my little book.
Ms. Pike, I don't see anything, any missing work on my to-do list.
Okay, then I'll take your name off it.
Read.
Well, that was easy.
Summarize. To summarize a selection, you tell only the most important details of the selection. This helps you remember what you have read. Find text evidence. After I read page 449 of The Life of a Dollar Bill, I will summarize what I read to make sure I understand it. Let's follow the dollar bill. It gets sent to a big bank and then a local bank. A family visits this neighborhood bank to get money. The dollar bill goes to a boy for his allowance. The boy brings the dollar bill to the bookstore. He checks prices to see how much the books cost. Then he decides what he can purchase. He finds a book to buy, but is it worth the price? He's not sure. The boy reads the back of the book and thinks about the price. I read that a dollar bill is printed and first shipped to a big bank and then sent to a local bank. The dollar bill then goes to a boy and gets spent. Problem and solution. Some information in an informational text may be presented as a problem. The solution is how the problem is solved. Find text evidence. As I begin reading page 450 of The Life of a Dollar Bill, I find a problem. Bills get worn out and torn. I keep reading to find the solution to this problem. Graphic organizer. Problem. A dollar bill gets worn out or torn.
And so what happens? Does anyone remember? When a dollar bill gets worn out or torn, what happens?
It
rips.
Yeah, it rips.
Well, yeah, so we know that. So let's see if I could skip to that part of the story.
The dollar bill,
or it could get banged.
The man takes it to his local bank and trades it in for a new dollar bill.
Bar graph.
So what happens? What happens when a dollar bill is worn out?
They trade it.
They trade it. So if you ever have a ripped dollar, a worn out or torn dollar bill, you take it to your bank and then you can trade that in to get a new one. And then what happens to that old one? A machine shreds it, and then they keep it into account, and then they print out new ones to replace those old ones.
Expository text. The life of a dollar bill is an expository text. Expository text gives facts and information about a topic, includes text features. Find text evidence. I know that the life of a dollar bill is an expository text. It gives information about money. The text features help me learn more about dollar bills. Story structure. Subheadings tell what a section of text is about. A graph helps you compare information using numbers. Paragraph clues. Paragraph clues can help you figure out the meaning of a new word. Look at the sentences within the paragraph for clues to help you understand a new word. Find text evidence. I'm not sure what the word shredding means. In the first sentence, the workers decide the dollar bill can no longer be used. The last sentence explains that shredding means cutting it into small pieces. The old dollar bill is returned to the big bank where workers decide that it can't be used again. They destroy the bill by shredding it. They cut it into tiny pieces.
All right, this is going to be Farah. Farah is a second grader just like you, and she actually wrote this paragraph. And look how many paragraphs she wrote. 1, 2, 3. She wrote 3 paragraphs. So let's see. She starts with a topic sentence. Her first sentence tells what the author is explaining about the dollar bill, because the question that her teacher asked her to answer is, what is the author trying to tell you about the dollar bill? So she answers what the author is explaining about it. She uses facts from the story about how a dollar bill passes from one person to another. And she also has a conclusion. She organizes her answers by adding a strong sentence to sum it up at the end. So let's read what Farah wrote. She's a second grader just like you, and this is what she wrote.
The author is telling me how many people touch a dollar bill and how many places it travels. Thinking about how $1 travels is a good way to explain our money system. After printing, the dollar goes to a bank. It is given to a parent who gives it to a kid for chores. The kid uses it to buy a book. Another person gets the dollar as change and uses it. The dollar bill continues to travel from person to person. When the dollar is old and worn, a machine carefully cuts it into tiny pieces. A new one is printed to begin traveling again.
So she summarizes the story. She has an introduction and a conclusion, and she's not just copying from the story. She's not just rewriting exactly what it says. She's writing it in her own words. All right, guys, let's go ahead and we're going to move on now. We're going to open up your turn workbook pages. So go ahead and open up your turn workbook. If you would like to use Kami, you're going to go to Google Classroom. Click on classwork, scroll down to ELA. If you're using your workbook, you're just going to head over to page 283. We're going to be doing our fluency reading today, page 283. Give you guys 30 seconds to get there, and then I'm going to start.
I only go in there in like 1 second.
Nice. All right, guys. Read the passage, use the summarized strategy to tell the important ideas in your own words. Make a budget. All right, I'm gonna do my 1 minute timer first. So you guys are just gonna listen to me. You get some money, but you spend it all and have nothing left. What can you do to take control? You can make a budget to manage your money. What is a budget? A budget is I don't know that word, so I'm going to underline it, to keep track of money coming in and money going out. The government has a budget. Many I don't know that word, I'm going to underline it, have a budget. You can have a budget too. Income. First, think about money you get. Where does the money come from? You might get an allowance. You might earn money from a job. Okay, so I sounded it out, so I don't need to underline it because I said it. Or you might get money as a gift. All the money you get is called income. Expenses. Now think about money you need to spend. Where does the money? So I stopped at money. So remember, I go to 116 and I count on 117, 118, 119. So I read 119 words. I'm going to fill it on page 285. I skipped plan and families. So that's 2 words. What's 119 minus 2, guys?
117.
Thank you. 117 is correct. Now, am I done? Can I go to my second read?
No.
What do I need to do?
Miss Park?
Put your score in the fluency reading score.
Go to ELA, scroll to Fluency Reading Score Tuesdays, open that up. And then these should all be filled out. You're gonna scroll all the way down to Unit 6, Week 4. And then you guys can actually delete Unit 6, Week 5. Well, actually, I don't think you guys can. But anyways, we're not going to do that one. So you can leave an X on that one. This is going to be the final fluency read you're going to do. This is it. You guys are going to do no more after today. This is the final fluency read you're doing. So you would put your score in right there. All right. All right, guys, you guys are going to do your read. Are you guys ready? On your mark, get set, go. Make sure you're reading out loud. Thirty seconds. And time. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to record your answers. Don't forget, you're gonna put it right down here first. And then once you've put it here, you need to put it in your fluency score chart under AE Unit 6, Week 4. All right, 30 more seconds, and then we're going to move on to the second read.
I already put my score in.
Beautiful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do our second read for us now, okay? All right. You get some money, but you spend it all and have nothing left. What can you do to, I don't know that word. So this time I'm going to cross it out. You can make control. You can make a budget to manage your money. A budget is a plan. Okay, I said it right, so I don't need to cross it out this time. To keep track of money coming in and money going out. The government has a budget. I still don't know that word, so this time I'm going to cross it out. You have a budget. You can have a budget too. Income. First, think about money you get. Where does the money come from? You might get an allowance. You might earn money from a job, or you might get money as a gift. All the money you get is called, I don't know the word again, so I'm going to cross it out. Now, expenses. Now think about money you need to spend. Where does the money go? You might have to buy lunch or pay for music class. The money you spend is called expenses. Spending money. Subtract. Okay, so I stopped at subtract. So remember, you go to the beginning of the line and then you count on. So 140, 141. So I read 141 words. I skipped take, families, and income. So 141 minus 3. Well, I know 141 minus 1 equals 140. So if I take away 1 from 3, I have 2 left. So 140 minus 2 is 138. All right, so now you guys are going to go ahead and do your final read. I'm going to start that timer. Ready. On your mark, get set, go. Thirty seconds left. Good job, time. All right, and then I forgot to remind you guys to put your fluency score here after. So once you guys count up the total and put your score here, put your fluency score here. Go ahead and do that now, guys. I'll give you guys 1 minute and then we're going to read through the story and answer the questions.
Right, Miss Park, I put my scores in. One more thing I wanted to tell you.
Yes.
Sometimes you get money from birthdays. I got some, but I spend it all on some Legos.
Amazing. All right, guys. Tell me in the chat if you are done or if you need more time. Ooh, lots of people are done. Does anyone need more time? Let me know in the chat if you need more time.
Not me.
All right, then we're going to move on, okay? Okay, let's go back to the story now. Before we read the story all the way through, let's read the questions. What was the problem that was described in the first paragraph of the passage? What was one step to solving the problem? And what was the solution? Okay, so the first paragraph is what I'm going to read right now. You get some money, but you spend it all and have nothing left. What can you do to take control? You can make a budget to manage your money. Ooh, so we can already answer that first question without having to read through it all the way, because the first question only asks us what problem was described in the first paragraph. So what happens in the first paragraph? What's the problem, guys?
That they spent all their money.
Very good. Spent all their money. Now that is a problem, because let's say that every time your parents got a paycheck, let's say that they go to work and they get a paycheck and then they get paid and then they spend all their money. They spend all their money as soon as they get it, then you guys would have no more money for other things. So that is a problem. So imagine that your parents get their paycheck and they say, okay, we're gonna go to Legoland and Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm, and we're gonna eat all this candy and junk food, and I'm gonna buy you guys all these presents, and you want $100 gift card to Roblox, and I'll give you poppets and squishies, and they spend all their money on their paycheck. And then tomorrow you wake up and you're like, okay, mom and dad, I'm hungry. Can we eat something? They're like, oh, we don't have any groceries. It's like, okay, well, can we go to the store and buy some cereal because I'm hungry? Well, I don't have any money left. I spent it all yesterday. And then you realize that you need a new jacket because your jacket got a big hole in it because you ripped it when you were bike riding. And you ask your parents, can I get a new jacket? Because this one's all ripped and I'm cold. And your parents say, oh, but I spent all the money yesterday. I spent all our money on our trip. And then, or let's say that all of a sudden your laundry machine breaks and you need to wash your clothes because they're dirty. And you say, okay, mom and dad, we need to buy a new laundry machine. It's like, well, we don't have any money. I didn't save any money because I spent it all. So do you see how if you don't save your money, if you don't budget correctly, then it's not good. It's not good when you spend all your money and you have none left, because then you can't buy food, you guys can't buy water, you can't buy things that you need, like clothing. Maybe you need to buy new books for school. Maybe you need to buy a new computer. Maybe you need to buy, I don't know, dog food or cat food, or I don't know. Maybe you want to join a sport and you want to, you have to pay a fee to play baseball. Okay, so now we need to find out what was one step to solving their problem. So they've been spending all their money. They're trying to solve their problem now. So what is a budget? A budget is a plan to keep track of money coming in and money going out. The government has a budget. Many families have a budget. You can have a budget too. Income. First, think about the money you get. Where does the money come from? You might get an allowance, you might earn money from a job, or you might get money as a gift. All the money you get is called an income. Expenses. Now think about money you need to spend. Where does the money go? You might have to buy lunch or pay for a music class. The money you spend is called expenses. Spending money. Subtract the expenses from the income. The amount that is left is the money you can spend on things you want. You may not have enough money to buy an item you want, though. Here's what you can do. Set a savings goal for the item. Each time you get money, set aside a portion or part of it. You might have to save for a few weeks or a few months, depending on the cost of your item. Keep saving until you reach your goal. Then you can buy your item. Many people make a budget to manage their money. You can make a budget to make your money work for you. A budget will help pay your expenses and save money to buy things you want. Okay, what was one step to solving this problem? So what can you do? What was one, okay, so what was the solution? So what is this story telling us to do? If you are spending all your money in one place and you have nothing left, what is your story telling you to do? What is the title of the story?
Make a budget.
Very good. So the solution to the problem is to make a budget. So that's going to be the answer to question number 3. Now, what is one step in making a budget? So what was one step? How do you make a budget? Does anyone remember what they said in the story in order to make a budget? What is a way to make a budget? What do you have to do? So let's read the definition of a budget again. A budget is a plan to keep track of money coming in and money going out. So money coming in is called income. It's what you make by doing chores or working at your job, or maybe getting it as a gift. And then what you spend is called your expenses. What you spend is called your expenses. Maybe you buy money to get yourself a gift, or maybe you buy lunch, or maybe you're paying for your music class or your baseball team. So what was one step to solving the problem? Let's see. Spending money. Subtract the expenses from the income. The amount that is left you spend on things you want. The money you can spend, the amount that is left is money you can spend on things that you want. So let's review what that looks like, okay? So let's say that you guys let's just pretend that you get $20 a week. Okay, so your parents tell you to do the dishes, you have to Swiffer the floors, you have to walk your dog. So your parents give you $20 every week. For doing all your chores. Okay, now let's pretend that we're in school, and then at school, you have to buy lunch every day. Okay, you have to buy your lunch every day at school. And let's say that your school lunch is $2. Okay, now let's say that you guys go to school every day this week, Monday through Friday. So that's 5 days of school. Now we did this in class. We did multiplication now. So what's 2 times 5? If you spent $2 on lunch for 5 days, Monday through Friday, how much is that?
10.
$10. Very good. Okay. Now, you don't have any other expenses because your parents give you the food at home, and you don't have to pay for your classes. Your parents pay for that. So you get $20 a week. You spend $10 on food. So then how much money do you have left at the end of the week?
$10.
You have $10 because you do 20 minus 10 equals 10. Very good. So you have $10 left, right? Now, let's say, so I see that Eva wants to buy an iPad. Okay, so let's see. Let's pretend that we want to buy this iPad too. Okay, so let's get a cheap one. Those ones are kind of expensive. I think I saw one over here. Okay, so Walmart has one for $289. Wow, that's a lot of money. $289. So let's say that Eva really wants to save up for this iPad. If she goes to on Roblox and she spends her $10 on a Roblox gift card, then she's never going to save up for that iPad. She needs to save $289. So I can skip count by tens till I get to 289. Well, I know that if I skip count by tens 10 times, that's $100. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So 289 is close to 300. So if 10 times 10 equals 100, then 10 times 30 equals 300. So Eva would have to save up for 30 weeks. She would have to save up for 30 weeks in order to have enough money to buy that iPad. Okay. Now, there are other ways that you can save. Maybe her parents say, well, you don't have to buy school lunch if you make your own lunch. If you make your own lunch every day, then you can save yourself $10. So Eva says, okay, so then every day before, when she wakes up a little earlier and she decides, okay, I'm going to make myself lunch for school so that I don't have to spend that $2. So she makes peanut butter jelly sandwiches at home. So now she doesn't need to spend that $10 at school. So now she has that whole $20. She has $20 because she doesn't have to spend any of that because she saves that money by making lunch at home. So that iPad is still $300. Now I know $20 times 5 equals $100 because 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that means that in 5 weeks, she would have $100. So in 10 weeks, she would have $200. And in 15 weeks, she'll have $300. So 5, 10, 15. So instead of waiting 30 weeks to buy that iPad, if she was to make lunch every day, she can buy that iPad in 15 weeks. So do you guys see how when you budget your money, if you guys calculate all this in your head, then you guys are able to make goals so that you guys can buy things that you guys really, really want. So it's important to save. But if let's just say that like Eva says, oh, you know what, but it's going to be my best friend's birthday next month. And I really want to buy her ice cream on her birthday. So then maybe on her best friend's birthday, she's going to spend $5. She's going to spend $5 to buy her best friend ice cream. So then instead of maybe 15 weeks, it'll take her 16 weeks because she needs to save up $20 more to buy that iPad, or she needs to, or she needs to save up a little bit more money to make up for the $5 she spends for her best friend's birthday. Okay, so I know that was a huge math lesson in the middle of our ELA, but what is one step to solving the problem? So what do you need to understand in order to budget? What are those two things that we talked about? You need to know about money coming in and money going out. What are those things called? I'll give you a hint. The titles of the paragraphs, the titles of those paragraphs, they're called subheadings. It tells you what they are. What is it?
Budget.
A budget is what is the title of the story. I'm talking about the subheadings, like what is a budget? These two words, spending money, those are all called subheadings. So we want to know, so a budget is a plan to keep track of money coming in and out. What is money coming in and money coming out called?
Income.
Income and what?
Income.
Outcome is another way to say it, but then what is the subheading called right here?
Expenses.
Expenses. Very good. So what is one step to solving the problem? You need to know your income and expenses. You need to know how much are you making and how much are you spending? Because you can't budget your money if you don't know how much you're making and how much you're spending. Very good, guys. So number one, I'll put it in the chat, spent all their money. These are not complete sentences, which is why I'm not putting sentences, I'm not putting periods at the end. You need to, number two, you need to know your income and expenses. Maybe you guys can use this over the summer. If you guys want to buy something, maybe you guys can work out a way to make some income. Maybe you can sell things. Maybe you can do some chores. Maybe you can help your neighbors. Maybe always ask your parents first. But maybe you can get like $1 for walking your neighbor's dog. Or maybe your parents will give you $1 for helping to fold up all the towels. Or maybe your grandma will give you $5 for helping her organize all of her clothes. So that could be all your income over the summer. And then think about the expenses. What are some things that you want to spend money on? And if it's a lot of money, how can you save up for it? Nicholas, is your hand raised from earlier, or do you have a question? All right, guys, we have about 20 minutes left in class. So for those remaining 20 minutes, you guys are going to work on your 5 things. You're going to work on your 5 things because most of you did not do your 5 things yesterday, and you need to do them every single day. So the first thing you guys are going to do is you're going to take your spelling test. I'll put that link in the chat. After you take your spelling test, you need to review all the words that you got wrong. Review all of the words you got wrong. Then you can play a spelling test game if you'd like. After that, you're going to take your vocabulary test. Again, you're going to review all the words you get wrong. You could do a vocabulary game afterwards.
What is the test on?
What? What?
What is the test on?
One more time.
What is the test on?
It's your practice spelling and your practice vocabulary test that you guys should be taking every single day. You guys do this every single week. Once you do that, you're going to do your grammar and your mechanics. And then remember, we went over your grammar and mechanics yesterday. It's okay. And then I told you guys it's okay if you make mistakes. Just do it every single day. Your grammar and mechanics can be found in McGraw-Hill. When you click on games. And then the last one is going to be your selfie writing, which can be found in Google Classroom under ELA. So you need to do all 5 of those things. Okay, work on those 5 things. I'm going to be watching you guys on Go Guardian.